It seems like yesterday was summertime, but now we're getting into the autumn and closer to winter and Christmas. But although the nights are drawing in, the good thing is the beers are coming from the supermarkets, brand new beers. We've got new beers in Morrison's, we've got new beers in Tesco, we've got new beers in Sainsbury's. But what we got today? Well, today we've got one of the new ones from Sainsbury's. This is Salt and Wild Beer, and it is called We Challenge You to a Hop Off, a Mountain IPA at 7.2%. What's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Well, today we're drinking one of the first of the new beers in the supermarkets. Firstly, apologies because the level of videos has been a little bit lacking over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. That's mainly because I had COVID for 2 of those weeks. Pretty much lost my taste and felt pretty rough. Was off beer for quite a long time. It was probably 2.5 weeks I was off beer, so it's not that long really, but I hadn't had beer for a long time. And then in that time, it seems that we're getting these like drip feed of beers in the supermarkets. And the supermarket that's leading the way is Sainsbury's, who have got quite a few new ones. I've picked up the one I'm going to review today. This is the Salt and Wild Beer Mountain IPA called We Challenge You to a Hop Off. Looks pretty good, but I've got one from Lervig, which is a pale ale, another IPA, this time from North Brewing, called Songbird, and another pale ale, a New Zealand pale ale. I think that's actually might be wild beer as well. So a few good new beers. There's an odd couple in Tesco, and there's a few new ones as well. Got 3 new ones in from Morrison's, a couple of those being Polly. So quite exciting times. I expect there's going to be a bit more releases, but they don't seem to be released in a big sort of wave this time. They're just like drip feeding 2 or 3 different ones in. But without further ado, let's crack this beer open, get it in a glass, see what it's all about. Mountain IPA. Seems like a while since I've had a Mountain IPA. I quite like them. I like that sort of combination of East Coast sort of softness, haziness with a sort of a little bit more of a bite of West Coast on them. Sometimes I think they always veer more on the East Coast, which is not a bad thing. And certainly beer in a glass, this looks like a New England IPA if ever I saw one. Looks absolutely incredible. Thick, hazy, murky, very sort of golden yellow colour. We got just under 2 fingers, quite compacted head. That looks really good, really special for a supermarket beer. See what the aromas are like. There's like all kinds of different things going on in here. I can get citrus, lemons, and limes, and grapefruits. All the different citrus fruits as well. There's quite a wave of those different aromas. When it comes to sort of tropicalness, there's a sort of the tropicalness is in the background. There's a little pineapple, a little passion fruit, but mainly there's a big citrus hit. Right, let's tuck in. Cheers, everyone. Oh, that's really nice. I'm not sure it's a Mountain IPA, although there's a little bit of a twang there of a little bit of pininess coming in. But the big hits in there, you're getting that sort of citrus fruits. You're getting the papaya, and you're getting you're even getting a little bit of the melon and stuff. I don't even have any worked out what the hops are. Let's read it. So it says, a collaboration with our good friends at Wild Beer Co. This Mountain IPA is inspired by the classic West Coast bitterness, East Coast juiciness of some of our favourite American beer styles, showcasing Idaho 7 and Strata, leading notes of juicy stone fruit and pine are followed by a classic bitter finish. Yeah, there is that sort of mango flavour in there in terms of the tropicalness. But there's a sort of, the whole sort of beer is sort of, has this sort of grapefruit sort of running through it. First you think, oh, it's quite sort of a sweet pink grapefruit flavour. And then you get the lemons and you get a real zest from lime flavour. And then that sort of, it just sort of sits just on the back of the palate really. A sort of almost that grapefruit rind flavour. There is a little bit of pine, but it's very, very subtle. I mean, I've had lots of beers that don't even say what they're just like IPAs, for example, that have that pininess, but you haven't got that. There's a nice sort of dry finish. Get my teeth in. But it's very good. It's got those East Coast characteristics, lots of juice, lots of flavour, very hoppy and soft, and a sort of almost smooth, medium sort of mouthfeel. The West Coast is definitely more east than the West in terms of the coast. I think you're just getting that bit more grapefruit, a little bit of a twin. I can't even talk today. A little bit of just a little touch of pine. But really for me, I've had East Coast that have got more bitterness than this, more pininess. This No Coast is definitely more on that sort of East Coast side, but it's a very good beer. And for a supermarket beer, it's cracking. £3.50, I think all these supermarket, all the Sainsbury's ones were, but this one is definitely recommended. It's a nice beer. It's got everything going for it. It's got all that flavour, all that juice, but then you've got that real sort of sharpness and that dry sort of zesty sort of bitterness, that sort of rind of a grapefruit really on the back end. But it's smooth and it goes down really well. 7.2% as well. Not quite a reasonably high ABV, but you don't taste any of that. There's none of that sort of burn or anything. It's a very good beer. But then this, if it's led by salt, which obviously it is, because you can see the sort of this sort of honeycomb sort of can, then you know you're on for a good thing, because salt make very good beers, and the beers that they put in the supermarkets are good. I just wish that I still could get alpaca in Sainsbury's, but unfortunately no longer. I do see it on their website. I should really buy that, because I still think it's one of Salt's best beers. This has got there's a similarity between this. So if you like Salt Alpaca, I think you'll like it. It's got those sort of flavours. There's tropical, there's citrus, there's a slight bitterness on the back end, but it's much zesty and grapefruit sort of hitting, and I think it's a very good beer. So I reckon to give it the Rockers thumbs up. So we'll get some scores after these credits. Hope you've enjoyed this video. As I said, I'm going to be getting more videos out over the next sort of few weeks. I've got these supermarket beers, and you know guys, I haven't done enough videos because one thing, I was working and I had a new job, and then I got ill, and it's been a nightmare really. So, and I feel that I've let you guys down and watch the videos because I haven't done it more regularly. I've had videos going out drip feeding, but a lot of them for a good 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I've got them, so at least I've got one video going out a day. But we'll be going back to at least 3 or 4 videos a week, and I've got some music stuff that I've put together that's still just going to need to record. So I'm really I'm quite excited about that. I think some good content for the channel. So here come the scores for this beer, but if you go in Sainsbury's, give it a go, because I think most people will pretty much like it. It's a good beer. So let's get those scores. Oh, and until the next one, keep on rocking. Okay, the scores are in. For Salt and Wild Beer, we challenge you to a hop off. It's a Mountain IPA, 7.2%. We've got Idaho 7 in there, and also Strata. Those sort of quite dank sort of hops, but it's a pretty juicy sort of beer. So let's go through the scores. Firstly, AROMA. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. Overall experience. And the total score is a recommended